Welcome to a new fragrance review. Today I'm going to tell you my top 5 overrated fragrance house. So I was thinking about it. There's one fragrance house that I almost put in the list, and it's Jean-Paul Gaultier. And the reason I almost put it there is because a lot of people say that they're good and all, but in the end, they only have one line. But I decided not to put them because that line is still pretty good. They did a nice impact in the world of perfumery, and it seems like they're taking new direction, trying new things. So I don't think it's so overrated, at least not enough to be put in my top 5, but I still wanted to talk about it. Maybe if I would have done a video a year ago, it would have been part of the top 5, but I have good hope for that brand right now. So let's go with the top 5. Again, a little disclaimer, it's just my personal opinion. I will say why I put them in my top 5, where they are. Feel free to say that you disagree in the comments, but I just don't take it personal. It's just personal opinion for me, and will be your personal opinion for you too in the comments. So number 5, it's Azaro. And why I think Azaro is overrated, because a lot of the fragrance they make, it's just something somewhat similar to another fragrance that's popular. And they don't do anything crazy, anything amazing, like by themselves, which is a bit disappointing. And you might come with any fragrance of the Wanted line that will come with example. The original Wanted, it's pretty much their version of L'Homme by Yves Saint Laurent. Their most wanted line, the whole line, it's basically their version of Invictus. One, it's more of a clone somehow of Invictus Victory, I think. And the other one, I don't remember which one, but it's nothing really crazy. I understand that what they do is nice and mass appealing, but they lack originality. Now, they're number 5 because they still have older fragrance that they're in their lineup, and they were not always bad, like unoriginal company, not as much as other ones on the list. That's why they're just number 5. And I'm gonna say also that I'm talking mostly about men's fragrance because that's what I know for the whole video. It's gonna be more men's fragrance. So in case someone wanna come with a list of great fragrance they do for women, any of those companies, it's just men's fragrance. Number 4 is Paco Rabanne. And now Paco Rabanne could be a bit higher in the list somehow, but I think it's deserved its 4th place. Doesn't deserve so much to be higher. They made some fragrance that were groundbreaking in a way, like Invictus. Don't like to say it, but 1 million also. At the time it was really popular. It's still really popular, actually. I think they're just kind of pressing the lemon a little bit too much. It's getting boring. It's just the same kind of fragrance that they just do a little bit differently here, a little bit differently there. Nowadays, also, they kind of retouch everything they do. Some of their great fragrance. If you just look at their lineup right now, their best fragrance from 1 million was Privé and Lucky for some, according to some people, but in my mind it was Privé. But anyway, both of them are not in the market anymore. What was pretty much the best Invictus was Intense, which is not market anymore, and they seems to just switch everything up. And it's not nice. They are almost doing what Zara is doing. The only thing is that Zara is not overrated. Everyone trashed on them except for a couple of fragrance, so that's why Zara is not there. But Paco Rabanne is. So they did some great stuff. Their Perfume or something like that collection seemed to be really nice. I've never tried them, but a lot of people said good thing about them. Also, the original Paco Rabanne Pour Homme was really a nice fragrance. So I won't put them too high on the list for that. But still nowadays, it seems that everyone loved them, everyone praised them, but they're not like making anything groundbreaking. They're just redoing their old stuff with different notes and putting their good stuff away, so we cannot have it anymore. That's why I think they are overrated. Next fragrance house that I think is overrated, number 3, is Hugo Boss. And now Hugo Boss, I think they're really, really, really overrated. A lot of their fragrance smell pretty similar. Also, a lot of their fragrance are pretty cheap smelling, like Boss Bottle. It smells like any random cheap fragrance that you get in the $20 section and some kind of like some pharmacy and place like that. Doesn't have anything crazy. A lot of the Hugo Boss price is the brand that you're paying and the quality. And Hugo Boss, they're really, really good at doing this, making a really low quality thing and sell it for a high price. And I'm just talking about fragrance, but clothes also. I think Hugo Boss is way, way, way more overrated. And if I would, now it's just about perfume, but if I would put it with the cloth lines, also with the whole brand, definitely Hugo Boss would be number one, like by far as the most overrated brand. But just for fragrance, I would go with number three because I think they are really overrated, but they're not like talked about so much, at least not as much as other brands on the list. And yeah, that's about it. Number two is Armani. And Armani might be weird that I say it's overrated because I think that Armani Code is a great line, though the last couple fragrance that they released was not so good. Still, I can say that it's nice. And Aqua also, it's a really nice line. A couple fragrance in the whole lineup were not so good in my opinion, but it's just an opinion. And in the end, I think the whole Code line and the whole Aqua line are really good. And both of them, especially the Aqua were really groundbreaking line, something that pushed a little bit the boundary of perfumery in a way. But what I think is really disappointing about them, why I think they are overrated, is really because they just do the same stuff. Nowadays, they do new Armani Code, which they didn't do for a couple times. But if you look for another couple years, all they did was flankers of Aqua that they released, that they discontinued. Even the good ones like Perfume and the whole fragrance community is probably one of the most loved flanker, at least in the top three, discontinued for some reason. Probably because they wanted to make other flankers and make sure that they sell. That's the reason I would see. But they just do their same thing again and again. It's a little bit like Paco Rabanne. But for a brand like this, they could do more. Paco Rabanne, this is their market. It's young people that don't know much about perfumery, that just want something nice to go clubbing and get a girl, at least for the guy part of it. So it makes sense for Paco Rabanne to just stay in that branch of fragrance. But Armani, it's a bit more high class. It's more professional people that will wear this. I feel they could try a little bit more. That's why I think they're overrated more than Paco Rabanne, and at least than all the other ones that I said. Yeah, I think they should do better. They should try something new. And number one, and this one I'm pretty sure a lot of people will not like me saying that, but number one most overrated fragrance house is Creed. Now, Creed makes great fragrance. They're really nice. I had a chance to smell a lot of them with Bruno Boulet from Parlons Parfum pour Homme. You should look his channel if you speak French. And I agree that the fragrance from Creed, they smell nice, but they are so expensive. And they don't have anything more special than any other brand. They're just some nice, somewhat mass appealing, maybe a little bit original, but nothing crazy kind of fragrance house. It's just, they don't have anything special to offer, especially now in the world where there's clones. I know that people hate Club de Nuit Intensement, but it's just not just about them. It's not just about clone of Club de Nuit Intensement. There's a lot of fragrance they do that you can find something similar for way cheaper, even if the quality is not quite there, even if there's like real ambergris in the fragrance and stuff like that. I can understand some people will want that level of quality, especially if they have the money for it. People that make millions a year and that they just want the best quality, I can understand that they will want those fragrances instead of cheaper ones. But for most people, it just doesn't make sense. The quality of the scent versus the price is just not worth it. And I think you can have as good fragrance, not necessarily with the same quality, but as good fragrance for way less. And there's still a lot of people that just praise Creed. We could go with fragrance with as much quality in the ingredient that makes better stuff or original stuff. I'm just thinking of Guerlain, what they do. They're more higher end. It's way better than what Reed is doing. That's just one example, but I'm sure we could find a lot of examples of fragrances that do stuff that are more original and Creed. And I think they have too much of, they're too overrated. So hope you enjoyed the video. If it's the case, will like and share. If you disagree with any of the fragrance house that I said, put it in the comment and tell me why you think it's not actually overrated. Also, if you think that there's fragrance line that I forgot to say, fragrance house I forgot to say that is really overrated, put it in the comment and tell me why you think they are overrated. So thanks for watching and see you soon.